All right, everybody come on in and take your seats. Welcome to class, everybody. So today we're going to be learning all about the neuron. Over here you have the nucleus, which is the center of every cell, and then you have the cell body itself, and coming off of the cell body is called the dendrites, and that helps receive the signal in the neuron. And then over here we have the line going down the middle, it's called the axon, so the signal gets sent across that line, and all of these little bubbles together are called the myelin sheaths. So that's kind of like a fatty cell that helps speed up the signal. And one singular one is called a Schwann cell. And then we have the nodes of Ranvier, which is in between each one of them. And then over here is the axon terminal, which is all of the little legs put together. And then these tiny little dots that you see over here are called the neurotransmitters. So they're a little signal that goes across this space right here, which is called the synapse, and that goes to the next neuron, and it goes to those dendrites, and so forth and so on. So the Schwann cell or the myelin sheath helps speed up the reaction. So it's kind of like this one day. I was running, right? And I passed by my friend's house.
Oh my god, Camilla, this is so boring. Why are we even here?
I know, right? I just wish we could leave.
And it's kind of like this. How just... You had a question?
Yes. How are we going to use this in our real lives?
I got it. So, parasympathetic and sympathetic are two different things. Parasympathetic is for resting and digesting. Like, let's say you had a huge meal on Thanksgiving, and so then you go into a food coma. Parasympathetic will help you rest and also digest whatever you consumed. Sympathetic is your fight or flight. So, if someone ran towards you or scared you, that's what you react to. If you fight or you run away from what's happening.
Yes?
How does the signal go from like one neuron to the next? I don't get it.
So basically the neurotransmitters from the transmitting neuron will go across this little area called the synapse and go to the dendrites of the next one. So imagine this, a mailman has the neurotransmitters, or the mail, and they put it in the mailbox, which can act like the synapse area, and then the homeowner, whoever lives there, will end up going to the mailbox, they open it, and they take their mail out. And that's just like the dendrites of the receiving neuron picking up that signal in order to pass it on to the next one, and so forth and so on.
I have a question. Yes, Cole. What is it? What is the difference between the somatic and autonomic reflexes? That is a very good question, Cole. Thank you. I just thought of it off the top of my head, you know? Well, a somatic reflex is any action that you do voluntarily. An example of this that is present in your everyday life is when you walk up a flight of stairs. You know? Another example is the knee-jerk or patellar reflex, which is responsible for the seemingly involuntary jerk of your knee when it is struck at a place such as a doctor's office. Now that's very interesting. Thanks, Cole. Now, the autonomic nervous system is responsible for controlling the involuntary muscles such as smooth and cardiac muscles. An example of this would be when you go from a dark room to a very bright room and your pupils get smaller. This is known as your pupillary light reflex. Thanks for the information, Sabrina.
So does anybody know what this picture could possibly represent? You.
So the stapler is like the central nervous system, where the brain and spinal cord, and then the jello is everything around it. So it's like the peripheral neurons.
You have a question?
Yes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the axon kind of like a game of telephone, where it kind of just transmits a signal until you finally get to the end?
Yes, it is.
Peripheral nervous system senses take in the Starbucks coffee and send it to the brain. This is sensory input. The brain processes the coffee and the body picks up the cup. This is motor input. She also senses she cannot see clearly, so she picks up her glasses and puts them on.
All right, class dismissed.
It was pretty boring, but I mean, I ended up liking it at the end.
Yeah, in the end, it was actually pretty cool learning about all of that.
So I mean, we learned about like the whole picture thing from The Office. That was really cool. With like the central and the peripheral, how the central was like the brain and the spinal cord. So I'm a stapler, and then the rest of me is Jello because that's peripheral. So it's everything else. I'm just Jello.
When she showed us a picture and it was a yellow from The Office, since that's something we watch, that was helpful.
Yeah.
I thought, how it was really cool how she related it to Thanksgiving break and dinner, because we just got back from Thanksgiving, and how our parasympathetic is for rest and digest. And so when we have like this huge Thanksgiving meal, it's just we go to rest because we've had this huge meal, and then it also helps us to digest. And then also when she explained sympathetic, I thought it was really cool how she did that, because we have like normal days where we have friends that scare us and everything, and how our sympathetic reacts to fight or flight. So if we run away from the situation, or if we just decide to fight what's happening.
So I thought it was pretty cool that the somatic was related to someone walking upstairs, because that's something that we do every day.
Yeah, using that was like as an example, that was really helpful.
All right, good morning, everybody. So today is your nervous system test. Any questions? No. All right, everybody, good luck.